Hi, I'm Chuck Myron,
And I'm his wife, Taryn Myron.
and we're married to Saturdays.
Married to Saturdays.
Well, all
Welcome
right.
back.
Yeah, welcome back. And well, we have a few things to digest here.
Oh, yes.
Look forward to. By the way, we're all in black here.
We are. We
It's
are.
very Johnny Cash like.
Yes.
Well, so Tennessee is going on the road this weekend, but Mississippi State's wearing white at home
Oh,
this week.
that's interesting.
So I guess I thought I would throw something non-white on there. So yeah, what about you? So Florida State also going up the road.
Yes, Florida State is also going on the road to Virginia on a Friday night, which is a little different, but I thought I'd wear also something different today
Okay.
because we probably will be wearing white on Friday. And thanks to my friend Jennifer for getting this shirt for me. So appreciate it. So shout out to my friend Jennifer.
And well, so two road tests for us now. Talk about your game a little bit because it will come first. It will be Friday night.
Yes.
So what are you looking for?
So I'm really excited. This is our first conference game. I feel like this is the first time, I won't say we've played a real team, but a Power Four team since Alabama. So we've had a few easy weeks. We've had East Texas A&M. We had Kent State. Those were blowout games. We had a bye week in between. So I'm really looking to see how we bounce back to some Power Four opponents. Really excited to get started in the conference schedule as well. These games are really important in terms of getting to the conference championship, which I know at the beginning of the season, I did not think we even had a shot at the conference championship. So these games are very important. We have to win them all to even have a shot at the conference championship.
So I think, look, when at the beginning of the season, you looked at Florida State and said, "Okay, I'm looking for 6-6."
Yes.
So we know, of course, the Florida State of today is not the Florida State of last year.
Yes.
We know more about Florida State than we did at the beginning of the season because they have that win against Alabama under their belt.
Yes.
They've continued to look impressive, playing inferior opponents after that, but continue to look very, very sharp. Um, that said, so when you looked at this team as a potential 6-6 team, before we knew that they would recover the way that they have, was Virginia a game that you had as a W or an L?
I believe it was a W.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was a W. Um, of course, I had Clemson as an L, but that might change now. But let's get back to Virginia. Virginia, I did have as a win. I don't like Friday night games. We never do well with Friday night games. I think we will win, but I think it won't be by as much as maybe people might expect.
Well,
because we never play well on Fridays. And I don't want to get trapped into looking ahead to the big Miami game in the following week.
So yeah, a potential trap game.
Yes.
On the road, different sort of time frame, environment, short week.
Right.
But you had Virginia down as a W even before you knew this was a team capable of beating Alabama. So I would assume you still have Virginia down as a W.
Yes.
Going
Yes.
into it today.
There was certainly some concerns Saturday with Tommy Castellanos as he was limping off the field when the weather delay started. But he went on social media and said he's, and I quote, all good. So he should be fine. And we're looking forward to Tommy Castellanos and the rest of the team going out and playing their best game.
Okay. So Saturday, Tennessee goes to Mississippi State.
Yes.
So this is, of course, a Tennessee team that has looked really, really sharp. The biggest criticism coming out of Tennessee's game last week was they gave up 24 points to UAB.
But remember, that was by only the first string gave up 7 points.
Exactly.
So remember that.
You can't focus too much on that.
Right.
And Jake Berklinger did not look great as the backup quarterback.
Right.
So things to think about potentially if there are injuries and you have more of that second string forced into action.
Right.
But hopefully that's not right now. You've got the starters going out there
yes.
to Starkville. And this is a Mississippi State team that had a really impressive win
Yes.
Earlier in the season against the defending Big 12 champions from Arizona State.
Correct.
So in that game, they held Sam Levitt to under 100 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
So picked him off twice. And this will be a tough test for Joey Aguilar and company. Obviously, Aguilar has looked phenomenal. And I think this is maybe their toughest game of the year so far. And also, a potential where you think about, okay, now you're getting into the SEC. Do you start to look ahead? Last year's team looked ahead when they went on the road to Arkansas.
Right.
And so this is the sort of game that you have to look out for. Now Tennessee going on the road, 3 out of the next 4 games, a lot to think about in front of them. But hopefully Tennessee's going to be able to put together a solid performance and come away with the W and continue looking like that playoff team that they've really looked like so far this season.
Right.
Surprisingly so, because we just didn't know what to expect going into the season.
Correct.
And it's been best case scenario for Tennessee so far.
And I agree with you. I think Aguilar has fit in really well with Josh Heupel's offensive scheme and their team. I would like to see how Joey Aguilar's success translates on the road.
And yeah, exactly. This is his first game on the road.
Right.
Of course, when they played Syracuse, it was at a neutral site.
Right.
So a tough environment.
Yes.
In Mississippi State, every SEC environment is a tough environment, really. So this is another test that you got to pass. But the Tennessee certainly has looked very capable of passing it. And, the question, of course, on the other side of the ball is, can that secondary solidify? Can it play better than it did against Georgia? That's the question.
That's right. Have they learned? Have they taken notes on the Georgia game and applied those? And we'll find out this weekend.
Right, because we don't know, when Jamon McCoy will be back at corner, when Ricky Gibson will be back. He might not be back all year, it sounds like, perhaps. So, Colton Hood and company have to step up.
Yes.
And it's next man up. So we'll see if Tennessee can pull it together defensively against Blake Shapen and company, a credible threat at quarterback.
Yes, I agree. It's going to be a great game. I think both games are going to be great. I'm really excited to watch them this weekend.
Okay, so, before we get to other games this weekend, want to kind of look at where things stand in the top 25. We've been doing our overrated, underrated look at the top 25.
Or properly rated.
Or properly rated, perhaps. See where they stand. So let's go through that right now. Let's look at teams from 25 to 1.
Sounds great. Let's do it. So at number 25, we have BYU.
BYU getting into the rankings, and really interesting game that they have coming up this week against Colorado.
Yes.
So,
and it's a late game.
Right. So I think, BYU, we're still trying to figure out what is the Big 12, who are the contenders, who are the pretenders. I think they're properly ranked right there.
I agree with you. I'm really excited for this, to see how BYU does. Number 24, we have TCU.
TCU, another of those mystery Big 12 teams.
Yes.
I think until we find a little bit more, get a little bit farther into that conference schedule, I'd have to say they're properly rated right there.
I somewhat disagree with you, because I think they're a little smidge underrated, and I'll tell you why. They had really nice wins against 2 ACC teams in North Carolina at the beginning of the season, and also SMU. So I think they're a smidge underrated.
Is SMU what we thought they were at the beginning of the year?
Well, we'll find out.
They haven't looked like the team that really was favored to win that ACC championship going into the ACC championship game last year.
Right.
SMU has been a disappointment. So does that reflect more on themselves or TCU, a team that beat them?
Right. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out as we go along.
Yes. All right. Number 23. This team went down considerably in the polls. Illinois.
I don't think they should be ranked. Indiana destroyed Illinois.
I have to agree with you. That was more than just a blowout. It was 63-10.
There's absolutely no reason for Illinois to be ranked after that. Their only other quality win is against Duke. Duke just lost to Tulane.
Correct.
So I think, look, why is Illinois ranked?
I agree. They should be out of the polls. I have number 22 as Notre Dame. They finally got their first win this weekend. Congratulations, Notre Dame, on your first win of the season.
Given the quality of their opponents, I think that I'm fine with seeing them there at 22. That said, they're going to have to keep winning in order to stay in those rankings. I think a third loss clearly knocks them out, and it would clearly knock them out, I think, the playoffs as well. They essentially have playoffs the rest of their season. They've got to win every one of their games in order to get back to where they were last year, which was the championship game.
I agree. Notre Dame has to run the table if they even want a shot at the playoffs this year. Can they do it?
Well, I think they certainly can. It's a matter of whether they will.
Right.
But you look at their schedule; it's not intimidating.
Right.
The toughest game might be USC.
I agree.
So look. Notre Dame has that opportunity. It's on their racket, but are they going to get it done? It's a lot to ask to win 10 in a row in college football.
It is.
So we'll see. But I think that's the ask right now for Notre Dame is just run the table.
Well, they've got one down. They've got 9 to go.
Well,
and speaking of their opponent, USC, they are ranked at number 21. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that makes that USC Notre Dame game really interesting as we get further down the schedule. I'm not sure USC. I don't think they're going to stay there. I think their schedule is too difficult. I don't think that's a playoff caliber, a playoff contending team. So I don't look for them to stay in those rankings. But certainly, if they beat Notre Dame, if they pull off another upset or two, they could. But I think that right now is an overrated team.
Ooh, okay. At number 20, we have Missouri.
Missouri, coming off the win over South Carolina. That probably looks more, doesn't look quite as impressive as it might have at the beginning of the year.
Right.
I think Missouri is also overrated.
Okay.
And we're still finding out about that middle tier of SEC teams. We're going to hear a bunch of SEC teams, I think, as we climb up the rankings here in the top 20. So I don't see Missouri in the class of those other teams. And I'm just not convinced that that's a top 20 or top 25 team right now.
Okay, well, we will find out as well as they get into their SEC schedule.
Yeah, because I think South Carolina is lost right now.
Yes.
That's a team, even with Lenore Sellers back, that is searching for something has big problems offensively under offensive coordinator Mike Shula.
Agreed. Number 19, we have Michigan.
Michigan is properly rated, I think, right there. They had a nice win against Nebraska.
They had some trouble, though, against Nebraska.
Well, they were underdogs going into the game. It was on the road in Memorial Stadium. And I think Michigan has the potential to get better as the season goes on with a true freshman at quarterback. So I could certainly see them climbing the rankings. For right now, they're properly rated. But yeah, I think that's a character building win. You go on the road in the Big Ten, and as an underdog, you get it done.
Do you think Michigan has the potential to be a spoiler in the upper echelon of the Big Ten, the Penn State, the Ohio State, the Oregon?
Absolutely. I mean, they were last year.
That's right.
They hung the last loss on Ohio State, and
Right.
watch what happened there.
Right.
I don't know if that spoiled anything for Ohio State other than Ohio State's tempers,
Right.
but they certainly have that opportunity. But I don't know if we're in spoiler time yet. This is a team with only one loss, lots of potential. That could be a playoff team themselves.
Right. I agree. Well, let's go to number 18, and we have another SEC team at Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, again, they have that win a couple of weeks ago over South Carolina that
Right.
doesn't look quite as good as it did.
Yes.
I think that's another team that profiles very close to Missouri. Diego Pavia has made a name for himself.
He certainly has.
With his talk. I'm not.
And they are undefeated. Vanderbilt's undefeated, which is really weird to say.
Well, but they have not faced the meat of the SEC yet.
That's true.
So let's let that play out. But I think they're overrated right now. I don't think they belong in the top 20.
Okay. What about the top 25? Maybe.
I would say maybe 25.
Okay.
To be honest, I think we have to kind of slow our enthusiasm right there. Vanderbilt's viable. They're not the last place team that they so commonly are in the SEC.
Yes.
But look, I just have my doubts that this is a complete enough roster to be truly a top 20, like a playoff contending type team. Diego Pavia would love to prove me wrong. He certainly is up to any verbal challenge. But
yes.
I think we've got to now see it from that team.
Right. He's got to back up his words. So good luck, Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt. We're going to stay in the SEC here at number 17. We have Alabama.
By the way, speaking of spoilers, Vanderbilt would love to play spoiler to Tennessee at the end of the season, so hopefully the Vols won't let them do that.
Hopefully not. As Tennessee fans, we don't want that to happen, of course.
So, Alabama.
Yes.
Yes. Well, look, this is really interesting. So in the context of last year, right?
Right.
Vanderbilt beat Alabama.
Yes.
This is an Alabama program that is that seemingly on a decline. But if Florida State is as highly ranked as they are, then I don't know how far you can knock, how many pegs you can knock Alabama down for losing at Tallahassee in what was in hindsight a really tough road game.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
I think right now Alabama is properly rated just based on what we know, and we have limited information about the teams. But I think that's where they belong for now, and we'll find out more as that SEC schedule unfolds.
Right. I think they're currently playing well their last two games, but like you said, the SEC schedule will really determine if they're one of those teams.
Yeah, and Wisconsin was not a couple of weeks ago was not as tough a test as it could have been.
Right.
Their quarterback was hurt, so I don't know that outside of Florida State, Alabama has really been tested.
No, I agree with you. All right. Let's go up to number 16. We're gonna go out of the SEC for a little bit, and we're gonna talk about Georgia Tech.
This is I think in the 10 to 20 range. This is one of the few non-SEC teams.
I think you're right.
Look, Georgia Tech, how impressive have they looked?
Amazing.
I mean, Haynes King, I said it many times before in this podcast, he's a player.
Yes.
He is a winner. He gets it done. I think they're properly rated right there with the chance to elevate themselves if they can, stay in that ACC title race.
Right. That would be a real interesting ACC championship game with Georgia Tech and Florida State. Sorry, Miami, you're out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they'll be able to pull that off.
Not really, I know. But, a girl can dream. A Florida State fan can dream. Well, let's get into the top 15.
Yeah.
At number 15, we have Tennessee Vols.
Right. So Tennessee, the loss to Georgia a couple of weeks ago, very, very tough. They come out, they handle UAB without problems. So look, they've been at 15 for 3 straight weeks. I think they're properly rated.
I agree.
They may be at 15 again next week. Although I would imagine that if they beat Mississippi State, they'll go up, since that's an SEC road
Yes.
win,
Yes.
which don't come easy.
Yes. Exactly. Number 14, we have Iowa State.
Well, again, Big 12.
Yes. What is the Big 12?
We have to find out more about how these teams are going to distinguish themselves and separate themselves.
Right.
We assume Iowa State is really perhaps the class of the Big 12, right up at the top. But look, we want to know more, and remember, Iowa State's got that Week 0 win
right
against Kansas State.
Correct.
They've beaten Iowa, but what are those? Are those really the kind of wins that a top 12 team should have to say that that's a top 12 team? I'm not so certain. I think Iowa State is overrated for right now.
I agree with you. I agree. Iowa State's definitely overrated for all the reasons you said. Number 13, we're going to go back to the SEC with Ole Miss.
Mississippi. Again, it's that squishy middle of the SEC.
Yes.
Which team is better than the other. It's hard to say.
Right.
I think look, they're probably properly rated for now, just based on what limited information we have. We're getting into conference play a little bit more as we get deeper and deeper into the season. We're going to find out, but sure, stick them there. They seem properly rated at 13.
Okay, yeah, I agree. We just don't have enough information, like you said, about Ole Miss yet. They keep winning.
Early season rankings are just that way.
Yes, can be a little tough, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Number 12, we have Texas Tech. They had a big win this week against Utah.
Right. So why is Texas Tech only two spaces in front of Iowa State? They had an impressive win, like you say, and that is seemingly a team that should be a top 10 team. I think they're underrated.
I agree with you. They did a great job against Utah. They have a completely rebuilt defensive players. So yeah, they should be higher for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously.
Number 11, we have Indiana. Big win this weekend over Illinois.
Why not move them into the top 10?
I agree.
Well, why not? If Illinois was a top 10 team and Indiana goes and beats them the way that they did, how can you not rank Indiana in the top 10?
Right.
That completely mystifies me.
Yes.
If you said Illinois is a top 10 team, if you were an AP voter and you put them in the top 10, and then Indiana runs roughshod over them.
Yes, they totally did.
Like, what is holding you back from making Indiana a top 10 team?
Right, I agree. Yeah, Indiana definitely needs to be in that top 10. What a great win over Illinois they had.
And a playoff team from last year.
Right.
So, this is not a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys here.
Right. Now, could Indiana play spoiler in the Big Ten with the Ohio State, the Penn State, the Oregon? Only time will tell.
I think, look, with that kind of a statement win that they had last week, then they don't necessarily have to settle for spoiler.
That's right.
That could be a Big Ten title contending team, and I know it sounds bold and brash, but that's the kind of
we like bold and brash around here.
Well, that's the kind of attitude that Kirk Signetti is building there in that program. You have to be impressed.
Yes. What an amazing program he's building. So absolutely props to Kurt Signetti for what he's doing in Indiana. Whoever thought we'd be talking about Indiana top 10, top 15, right? Nobody ever thought that.
In basketball, maybe. But,
right. Yeah. Certainly not this girl in football. So let's go to that top 10. Number 10, we have Texas.
Well, good for Arch last week.
Yes.
Finally looking sharp.
Looking like Arch, as expected.
But what world is it that we're considering a win over Sam Houston, performance against Sam Houston, to be a distinguishing performance for a guy that we thought this was a Heisman guy, number 1 pick,
Hmm.
The great pedigree, obviously. I, look, I think Arch has a long way to go
Hmm.
until he restores that aura that he had, and
Yes.
until Texas restores that aura that they had. Uh, we'll find out as they get into the SEC schedule, but right now, I think Texas is overrated.
I do too. And honestly, I would put them under Texas Tech. I would put them under Indiana.
Right? They proved it on the field. Texas has not yet.
Right.
Their wins are against teams they should be beating, and
They should be blowing out, really, and they're just barely winning,
well,
except for last week.
except for last week. But look, Texas has things that they need to prove.
Yes.
So that does not yet look like a top 10 team to me.
I agree. All right, at number 9, we have Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, I think, is uh, it's so interesting, right? That we have Texas Tech, Texas, and Texas A&M very, very closely
Yes.
bunched together.
Yes.
Texas A&M signature win is over Notre Dame.
Yes.
If we consider Notre Dame ranked, and I think they should be, then I think Texas A&M is properly rated where they are. But we're going to find out a little bit more about Texas A&M, and wouldn't it be fun if Texas Tech and Texas A&M were playing this week instead of at the end of the season?
Yes.
That would be a lot. But we'll get to that.
Yes, we will. We will. I actually think Texas A&M is overrated. I also think they should be under Indiana and Texas Tech, along with Texas.
Okay.
So
you can't look
because of the signature win.
Yeah, but that's a little bit of recency bias.
Yes.
Because Texas A&M's win over Notre Dame, and yes, Notre Dame has another loss on their schedule, but Notre Dame is not losing to Sam Houston.
Right.
Right. They're losing to credible opponents.
Right.
And look, the Texas A&M win is still a distinguishing win. The Texas A&M, speaking of beating Notre Dame, that's still a distinguishing win for Texas A&M. I think they belong where they are.
All right. Number 8 is Florida State, of course. We actually moved down one spot.
Yeah, which I think it's crazy, but yes. it had spoke to the caliber of the team that you were going up against.
Right.
So I think they're properly rated. The win that they had, the impressive way they looked in that game against Alabama, speaks to their to their accomplishments and their potential.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think that looks like a number 18 to me right now.
Mm-hmm. I think as long as they take care of business against Virginia, what a huge showdown. That will be a top 10 matchup between Florida State and Miami, because Miami's on the bye this week. So that will be huge.
A Florida State-Miami game that harkens back to the matchups that they had in the 90s, where that was, in the early season, that was the biggest game on the schedule all across the country.
Yes. We're excited to get back to that, but we'll talk a lot more about that next week.
All right.
Okay. Number 7, we actually have one first place vote for this team, Oklahoma.
Well, this is interesting because Oklahoma's quarterback, John Mateer, is out for a month or so with a broken hand.
Yes.
There's no official timetable, but it seems to be about a month that should take him. Of
course, these rankings came out before we knew about the injury.
Right. So that's going to change some things.
It will.
But I'm really be interested to see how the rankings treat them next week.
Right.
It's hard.
We certainly know about them, like the College Football Playoff Committee penalizing teams for injuries.
Yes, the committee will look at that. Of course, Mateer should be back by the time we're talking about playoffs.
Of course.
But I think it'd be interesting to see how the committee views teams that play without a star player like a Mateer, as Oklahoma will have to do. How they and will it maybe overlook some of their struggles if they lose, if they pick up losses or just don't look impressive?
Right.
Will that be forgiven? Will that even be remembered at season's end?
Exactly.
If this is truly just a 1-month injury, he should be back in time for the November 1st game against Tennessee.
Right.
look, at this moment, Oklahoma is probably properly rated in the context of where they were, but obviously they're overrated
Without John
without
Mateer.
John Mateer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6, also with one first place vote, is Oregon.
Oregon is I look. We're gonna find out everything we need to know about Oregon in the coming week against
Yes.
Penn State.
Yes.
They're properly rated where they are, but
What a great matchup that will be on Saturday.
Yeah. This is just kind of a placeholder ranking until Saturday's game. They're
Yes.
going up or down. They're not staying where they are.
Right. Now let's get into the top 5. It seems like there was some shakeups in the top 5 this week. Number 5, we're going to start with Georgia.
Georgia, right where they belong. Great, impressive comeback win at Tennessee. Really tough environment.
Yes.
And so that's a team that is to be reckoned with. Maybe even you think a little underrated.
Ooh, okay. They might be.
I think
it was a very good Tennessee team that they barely beat.
Yeah.
So you're right. I actually think they're a little underrated as well, especially when you consider who is number 4, LSU.
LSU, they vanquished Florida.
Yes.
They
bad Florida team. Sorry, right. Gators.
But. And of course Florida then went and lost to Miami the next week. So that I don't know how much you can hang your hat on that win. Of course they have the other win is Clemson. So 2 of the most disappointing teams.
Yes.
Those are LSU's signature wins. So look, I don't know why you would put Georgia behind LSU at this point.
Right.
Georgia's win is against a team that has looked really super sharp.
Yes.
And
they barely won.
Right. And I realize LSU has the 2, big wins, and Georgia has the 1. But come on, look, Georgia's the better team.
Absolutely. Florida and Clemson have both been disappointing this year.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I agree with you. LSU is overrated. Maybe we should switch LSU and Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia has looked like the better team.
Absolutely. Number 3. So we have some shakeups still in the top 3. Number 3, with 5 first place votes, we have Penn State.
Sure. They slipped a little. They were on the bye.
Right. They didn't play anybody.
Again, this is another ranking that I think is either going to go up or down.
Yes. I think it will regardless.
They're not going to stay the same. I would say, look, they're properly rated. They're in the top 3. That's where they belong. And they can prove it when they take on Oregon this weekend.
Yes, absolutely. All right, with number 2, with 7 first place votes, we have Miami.
So I've been, to be honest, I don't know why you would vault Miami over Penn State. I think Penn State's actually underrated. I think Penn State should be number 2. I think Miami should be number 3.
Well, who has Penn State beaten that's a quality win?
Nobody.
Right.
But Miami
beat Notre Dame. They beat Florida. Which granted, Florida's disappointing.
Florida, and they didn't look great.
And
that was a 13-7 game in the 4th quarter.
Yes, it was.
So
and I was really nervous.
why did the pollsters pick this week to vault Miami?
Right.
That's mystifying.
In preparation for their game with Florida State. So when we beat a number 2 team, it looks better for us. Just a little biased, if you can't tell.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Just a little. All right, and at number 1, of course, with the remaining first place votes, Ohio State.
Yeah, number 1 with a bullet. That's the best team, and they will be until proven otherwise.
Exactly, and they were on the bye this week, so they didn't play.
Right. So we'll get them into starting in conference games now.
Yes.
So but hey, look, that's a machine that just keeps rolling.
That's right. Okay, and that is our top 25. So if you agree, disagree with the rankings, let us know. Let us know. Give us a comment.
And look, now let's talk a little bit about the games coming up this week. We've talked already about Tennessee and Florida State's games, but we've got plenty else on the schedule. Here, we've got, of course, Florida State and Virginia on Friday night. Uh,
You definitely watch that.
so here's a really intriguing game. By the way, that's 7 o'clock ESPN for
Yes.
Florida State.
Yes.
9 o'clock Fox. Number 24 TCU at the defending Big 12 champion Arizona State.
Ooh, I think that's going to be a very interesting game.
Right, that could be. I think that, to be honest, if it weren't for our loyalties here, I think that's the more intriguing Friday night
Sure,
game.
of course.
Because with every Big 12 games, it seems we find out just a little bit more.
Yes.
We want to see how those teams can distinguish themselves. Last year was a mishmash, right?
Yes.
It was you had the potential for what, a 17 tie or something like that going into the last week of the season.
Right.
So yeah, it like you're looking for somebody to step up
Yes.
to be a difference maker. And maybe it's TCU, maybe they can do it. Maybe Arizona State can right themselves.
Right.
So really intriguing game right there.
I agree. And if I were just going on playoff picks, I would really want Arizona State to bounce back.
Well, yeah, we'll see. So here's a team. So going into noon on Saturday, a few games that are really interesting. Talk about bounce back games.
Okay.
USC at Illinois.
Ooh, what an intriguing game, I think. USC, to me, seems to be a little on the rise. Illinois is hurt from the blowout loss. How do they respond?
Well, really interesting. So USC is coming east.
Right.
It's a noon game, so it's 9 o'clock local time for USC.
Yes.
It'll be 11 o'clock. A little slightly more hospitable, I think, for Illinois.
Yes.
But you got to know that Illinois is a wounded animal right there.
Right.
So that's a really tough game, I think, for USC. That could be a complete hornet's nest.
Okay. We'll see.
Also, at the same time, Georgia Tech at Wake Forest.
Ooh, now that's a very important ACC game for Georgia Tech. They need to really come out and show that they are one to be contended with in the ACC.
Road test.
Yes.
Road test. Conference game on the road. Yes, it's Wake Forest.
They're not great, but they love to spoil.
Yeah, you want to avoid the trap game if you're Georgia Tech.
Yes.
Get a lot of good press. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So look, that one 12 o'clock ESPN, the USC Illinois game is on Fox. 12 o'clock ABC, Notre Dame at Arkansas.
Ooh, I like this. And you never know what kind of Arkansas team you're going to get. They're playing in Arkansas, is that correct?
That's right.
This is a very intriguing matchup. I would definitely be watching this one.
Well, look, this is an Arkansas team that got embarrassed against Memphis last week.
That's true.
Which speaks again to Notre Dame's very soft schedule the rest of the way. I think that, look, we'll learn about both of these teams. I think we'll learn what kind of character Arkansas has, because this is a tremendous opportunity. They just lost their trap game, right? Going before that, so we'll see what Sam Pittman can do. If that gets ugly, you start to worry maybe about Sam Pittman there, even though this is a very credible opponent, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, this is
he's got
where
that SEC schedule still.
This is where Arkansas has to show some signs of life.
I agree.
All right, so looking down the schedule here, noon games. Vanderbilt against Utah State. That's 12:45. SEC Network special.
They'll probably be okay.
Yeah, it should not have any trouble there. Getting into 3:30 games. So number one, Ohio State. They go on the road all the way out to Seattle.
Ooh.
To play Washington.
Okay, that's a very long traveling distance for Ohio State, but I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, they
take care of business.
That's a steamrolling ship. That is just a machine. Obviously,
who can stop the machine?
Obviously, look, they're what we know about them is that they can beat Texas by a touchdown.
Right.
But you have to respect the job that Ryan Day has done ever since that loss to Michigan, of just winning. And yeah, and by the way, the other side of the coin here, Washington, that's a school that has not really gotten up since losing Kalen DeBoer.
Exactly.
Kalen DeBoer is not exactly the most well acclaimed coach
right
these
now,
days,
yes.
after you guys took care of them.
Yes.
But the loss of Kalen DeBoer and having Jed Finch go in there, that's not looked well for Washington. It's just not done.
I mean, however, Washington did just beat Washington State in their annual rivalry. So.
Right.
But again, who is Washington State?
Right. This was a national championship team.
Yes.
Undefeated going into the national championship game, and Washington, hey, an opportunity.
Yes.
Look good against Ohio State. Maybe not even have to beat them, but at
maybe
least
a close game.
Push them, get a little scared. Big opportunity for Washington.
Absolutely.
All right. Same time. So that's a CBS game.
3:30, right? CBS.
And then 3:30 ABC. LSU at Mississippi.
Ooh, I like this game because we really don't know much about LSU yet. They have only beaten teams who have very much fallen short of expectations this year. So I'm really excited to watch this game. I think it's a great game for Ole Miss as well. If they're deserving of their ranking, they will prove it by beating LSU.
Yes. No. That is another game where Mississippi is going to go up or down. They're not going to stay the same.
Right. And I know you just love their coach.
Well, Lane
as a
Kiffin,
Tennessee fan.
Lane Kiffin. What can you say?
Right.
I think it's a great chance for Lane Kiffin right here. LSU has been at the top of the rankings pretty much all season.
Right.
This is the kind of SEC game that you appreciate.
Yes.
Now that we get into the conference play, you're going to start seeing on a weekly basis.
Yes.
And this is why we love college football, as a game like this. It's really so hard to say with the definitive, look, I think Mississippi has them. I think LSU has them. This is a game that could go right down to the wire, nip and tuck. Hopefully it lives up to those expectations.
I agree.
All right.
We will be watching that game.
ESPN 3:30. Another SEC, really interesting SEC game.
Okay.
Not quite as marquee, but unranked Auburn at Texas A&M.
Oh, I like this game though. Yes.
Well.
And we're getting into those conference matchups.
Right. I obviously this is one that Texas A&M should take care of against an unranked team. They're playing at home, but Auburn, has a pulse. And that's also a potential trap game for Texas A&M.
Yes.
You can't overlook any SEC opponent.
Exactly. They have Auburn this week, and then they'll be playing Florida next week. So.
Yeah. Two games that are easy to overlook because of where they stand in the SEC. But again, they have to meet the mark.
Right.
So we'll see if they're able to do that. 3:30. How about this? Indiana at Iowa. 3:30 on Peacock.
Okay. Well, if you're a streaming person, you can watch the game.
Yeah. Indiana.
Indiana should take care of business here.
There's always the possibility of a letdown.
Right.
And and Iowa's a credible Big Ten team. I think, I think you have to be on letdown watch because it's such an emotional game against Illinois. They went out and proved that they are the better of those two schools. And they're running the eyes. They're Indiana. They're an eye themselves. They beat Illinois. Maybe they'll have a chance to sweep the eyes.
Maybe they will.
The eye champions pass the eye test.
I'm sure if Iowa State played them, they'd have something to say about that.
Well, look, and also in that window, you have a few other intriguing games. UCLA at Northwestern, Nico yeah,
Comes back east.
and that of course UCLA having replaced their coach.
Yes.
Cal is at BC after
Okay.
Cal got embarrassed
Yes.
against San Diego State last week.
They did.
And ESPN2 3:30. Baylor at Oklahoma State. Speaking of coaches who can let go,
this is going to be a very interesting game. Since Mike Gundy just got let go, I mean, this is amazing. He's been there for 20 years, and they just fired him.
Well, the results have spoken for themselves.
Yes.
Oklahoma State has slipped. That's no longer a contending program in the Big 12. And, that sort of thing has consequences.
It does. And, Mike Gundy, he loves to put himself in the news. He loves to say things that will pique people's interest, to say it nicely.
Well, Baylor is another program that was up until very recently contending in the Big 12.
Yes.
And that's another program that has lost its way a little bit the last couple of years.
Sure.
So I think a potential for redemption for both teams.
And how does Oklahoma State do with an interim head coach who was the offensive coordinator? So it's going to be really interesting to see how they adjust without Mike Gundy. Will they adjust for the better, for the worst? Only time will tell.
So a team that looked a little worse for wear last week in a big matchup against Texas Tech, Utah now has to go on the road to West Virginia, 3:30 Fox.
How does Utah recover from that?
Well, this is a West Virginia team that it's right. They've looked different. They lost to Ohio. They lost to or they beat Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really. It's hard. Who is West Virginia?
That's another team we don't really know who they are.
Yeah. And we got another Big 12 team.
Big 12 wide open. Mystery.
Yes. So I think, look, Utah and West Virginia.
It's an intriguing game.
A really intriguing game, just to take the temperature of a couple of the teams that.
Yes.
We're not really sure who they are.
Right.
All right. So turning then, and also of course in that window, Tennessee at Mississippi State. That's that 4:15 SEC.
I wonder who you'll be pulling for, Chuck.
I wonder who I'll be watching. You don't have to wonder that.
That's right.
So getting into the night games, another Big 12 game of note, Arizona at Iowa State.
Okay.
Iowa State, of course, should take care of business
They
there. Virginia Tech is at NC State.
Okay.
In the ACC.
Good ACC matchup.
Right.
Getting into conference play.
Okay, but 7:30, game of the weekend.
Yes.
Oregon at Penn State, NBC at 7:30 game.
Mm-hmm. This is huge.
Who has the edge?
Oh, this is huge. I actually think. Do you want me to pick a winner? Is that what you're saying? Do you want me to pick a winner?
You don't have to pick a winner,
okay.
but which of these teams do you think looks sharper as we go into it?
Oh, I think Oregon does. By far, they have played. Not that Penn State hasn't played well, but I think Oregon looks better. I just think they look better.
Well, they played, I think, a little bit tougher schedule.
Right. They've had better competition, and that's why I say Oregon.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Penn State can't do it. This is also a rematch of the Big Ten championship from last year.
Right. Well, and it's another 3 time zone travel game.
Yes.
Arizona or Oregon going all the way across the country to play Penn State.
Yes.
Of course, it'll be at night, so a little bit easier on them. But obviously, Penn State is going to have a home field advantage there in Beaver Stadium. It's really intriguing because I would agree with you. Oregon State has looked better.
Mean Oregon?
Oregon has looked better.
Not Oregon State.
Yeah. But I think I did that earlier this season too.
Yes.
I must have some. That platypus trophy that they have.
Well, you were just talking about Beaver Stadium, so maybe
yes,
that's what
exactly.
It was.
Yeah. But look, Oregon, I think has looked more impressive so far, but Penn State a chance to really, prove that irrelevant if they can pull off the win. And
Absolutely.
This is a Penn State team with such expectations.
Yes.
We have not seen this level of expectations on a Penn State team Can James Franklin win a big game? This is his first of what will be multiple tests this season.
Right.
Can he win a big game? Here's one opportunity for him to do so.
And that's been the question throughout his whole coaching tenure at Penn State. And that's been an issue, is that he can't win the big games.
Yeah, and is Drew Aller, is he a primetime player?
Yes. Well, we'll find out. This is supposed to be the best Penn State team that James Franklin has ever had.
We'll see. We'll see. Same time, ABC.
Another huge game.
Alabama at Georgia.
Wow. I remember when this game was announced, people were flocking to buy tickets to this game. I believe the tickets sold out in an hour or less.
Well, look, the two preeminent teams in the SEC, the two preeminent teams in all of college football this decade.
Yes.
And look, Georgia obviously has looked much better than Alabama this year. They have already an impressive win under the belt.
Yes.
Alabama has an impressive loss under their belt.
Right.
Going to Tallahassee and getting and losing. So
and where is this game at?
It is in Georgia. It is between the hedges. So look, Georgia has the advantage, but what an opportunity for Alabama to get back on that stage. Say, wait a second.
Right.
Here. We're still Alabama. Kalen Bower has a chance to get a lot of critics off of his back. A statement win opportunity, but also for Georgia. Look, if Georgia wins this game, I think they have that. You're going to see them getting first place votes.
Oh, absolutely.
For certain. I tend to think that the Oregon Penn State winner will have a case. Obviously, Ohio State will have a case. Obviously, but Georgia, if they beat Alabama here,
they will have a case.
Will they have a? They have a credible case then to be the number one team.
Absolutely. As a Florida State fan, I am pulling for Alabama. I'm not saying that's who I think is going to win. I am pulling for Alabama because if Alabama beats Georgia, how great does that look for Florida State that we beat the team that beat Georgia?
Right.
So I will be pulling for Alabama as much as it pains me.
Well, look, and I think Georgia, should they be number one if they beat Alabama? No, because Alabama they have that loss against Florida State, and then we'll think about Alabama, sort of that wandering team. But I think Georgia would have a claim. You'd start seeing them get first place votes if they did.
I think the real contest would be between Ohio State and whoever wins that Oregon Penn State game for number one.
I think we'll probably see that
down
the road here. So, look, also in that window, Missouri is home to UMass. So,
Missouri should take care of business.
Yes, that one shouldn't be too hard. Kentucky at South Carolina.
I think this is an interesting matchup. Both teams have not performed as well as they had hoped.
It's a get well game for South Carolina. I think if they don't win this game, the bottom might drop out.
Right.
That's where you start to get a lot of heat on Shane Beamer at that point.
Absolutely.
This is I think a must win for South Carolina. That one, by the way, 7:45 SEC Network.
Yes.
And we talked about this just a little bit earlier, but BYU at Colorado, 10:15 ESPN.
I'm really intrigued to see this game. Colorado has not performed to expectations this year. Could be partially because Shedeur Sanders is gone, Travis Hunter is gone, along with a lot of other players that they had last year. BYU, I believe, is on the rise. So I'm really interested to see this game. I might be watching it with one eye open. We might be a little tired by 10:15 from a full day of watching football, but it's a really intriguing game.
Well, look, like I said about South Carolina, that's a potential get well game. I think Colorado, obviously BYU is a much tougher opponent than Kentucky.
Yes.
But this is a chance for that program to continue to stay on the national stage.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose another game at home, you start to question the relevance of that program.
Right.
Is it just there? Are we just watching to see Dion and to see what he's going to say and do, or is that a team and a program that is actually going to be nationally relevant?
Right. And are they in the hunt for the Big 12 championship?
And is BYU in the hunt for the Big 12 championship?
This is a wide open race in the Big 12, so we don't know. It's really interesting.
Well, lots to look forward to.
Yes.
So keep watching. Keep watching on Saturdays. Keep watching Married to Saturdays.
Married to Saturdays.
Like, comment, subscribe. If
that
you
button
subscribe,
down there.
the podcast goes right to your inbox. You don't have to worry about it. It's right there. You'll know when we have a new episode.
That's right.
So just hit that button and
hit the button.
Make it happen. Make it happen. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.